This is a continuous improvement movement reserved for the few with the grit to prove it. Everybody.
Good morning, Calvin. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic on this terrific Tuesday, election day.
Oh my goodness, yes, election day.
Thank goodness. I'm so ready for this election to be
Over. Over. All the
Yes.
ads to be over.
All the ads.
Yes, that's the worst part for
The
me.
media. It's like, just be over. It's not gonna be over. It's not gonna be over. But at least we'll have an idea who got the most votes per state.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's move on to morning news, Calvin. Today, we're going to talk about an article from Entrepreneur Magazine. I love that magazine, by the way.
So do I.
Yeah, and the article is titled, How Deep Should I Go on Employee Development? 4 Talent Lessons from a High-Stake Industry.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's talk it.
Okay, so employee development is a cornerstone of an operational excellence culture.
True.
What do you think about that?
100%. There's an expression, sometimes I like to start with an expression that says, if you're looking at it from a purely financial standpoint, you might ask, what if we invest a bunch of money and time and talent in training our people and then they end up leaving? I think a better question is, what if you don't invest in them and they end up staying? I think you got a much bigger problem.
Yes, and the statistics back it up too, because companies that invest in employee development are usually about 10% more profitable than their peers.
That makes sense.
And people are twice more likely to stay with that company if the company invests in their development.
Now, when you talk about training, as with any investment, right? I think investment has inherent risks involved. So when we talk about people development and talent development, you got to be strategic about what type of training you give people and when and how and all those things too. So I think in our conversation, when it comes to building a culture of operational excellence, we're talking about continuous improvement training, which is some of the most powerful training that you can provide any employee, right? And especially Lean Six Sigma and OpEx and Agile and some of those methods that are proven to help produce superior business results. So the thing about training, and this is the powerful thing about training, is that if you just tell a person, go out and improve your process, get better results, all the rest, a lot of people could do that. A good size of the population could just take that little bit of direction and actually go out and make some good things happen, right? But the powerful aspect of training is it gives people a much clearer idea or a clearer vision of what good looks like and what great looks like. I think there's a misconception around operational excellence is that everybody can do it and it's easy to do, right? In the worst cases, companies go hire an OpEx manager and say that person's job is operational excellence and everybody else is, continue with business as usual, right? That's a gross misconception. And this is a problem with lack of training. So if you would go to a company that's doing OpEx really well, really world-class operational excellence, there, first of all, you'll see what great looks like, but then you can ask the question, all right, how do you get to that level of achievement? And part of the answer is OpEx cannot be a single person's job, right? It's everybody's job. Continuous improvement is everybody's job. And if you do boil it down to one person, it's the CEO, because OpEx or excellence mindset in general has to come down from the top, right? You can't have excellent people in pockets around the company, but in general, the leader's not very demanding of quality and safety and production and cost and those kind of things, and expect the whole organization to just kind of migrate towards excellence. That's just not a reality. So it really has to come, hey, we will be excellent. We will not lose by any means necessary mindset. And then that mindset cascades in throughout the organization and excellence becomes everybody's job. And training can help show what what it takes to cross the chasm.
So we're talking about training as a way to improve that operational excellence culture, but also, obtaining tangible business results. And in order for you to obtain those business results, that training has to be strategic.
Absolutely.
It has to be aligned with your goals. It has to be personalized, customized. You have to make sure it's not just training for the sake of training, because even if you tell an employee, go take this training, if it's not pertinent to their job, they're not gonna feel you care about them and that you're really investing in the skills they need to get their job done right.
Yeah.
So there are 4 steps that you can take advantage of to make this training really strategic and to take advantage of it and see the profits in your business. Number 1, hire trainable people.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Right.
Number 2, take a customized approach like I just talked about. Number 3, run simulations. And number 4, bring on executive coaches. What do you think about these steps?
Well, the first step is key, right? Because in order to get quality out, you got to put quality in. So that's number 1. That's paramount. The others are great too. And the last step that talks about executive coaches is massive because, I think, companies go on these CI journeys. They do all the training, they do Kaizen events, and they do kind of spots of improvement, maybe do the visual management and all that stuff. But a lot of them become frustrated. A lot of them lose interest. And a lot of them feel like, we did good things, but they're not sustaining, right? The behavior is backsliding. The culture we're trying to create isn't forming. And I think the missing ingredient in that pie is coaching. In order to drive and sustain a true operational excellence or continuous improvement culture, you have to have that training mechanism in place, and leaders have to adopt a mindset of leaders as coaches. And essentially what that does is it ensures it keeps continuous improvement on the radar as a priority for the business and personal development, right? It accelerates. Anybody who's ever done anything worth noting achievement wise was done so with the help of a coach. And it's one thing to say, hey, we're going to get the executives coaching, and that's a great start, and that's a phenomenal start. Do that, right? But the question is, how do you get, truly trying to create a high performance culture, how do you get a coach for every single person in the company? And that may be not so economical to just go hire an outside coach for every individual in the company, right? So the way to achieve this though, right? Like I said, anybody who achieves performance at a high level is done so with the help of a coach. I think a person is 8 times more successful with a coach than they are without one. I think that's the statistic, which I can certainly testify to that. So the way to get everybody a coach is that leaders coach their direct reports, and they do so on a set cadence. Make it a routine, because as people, we're creatures of habit above all other things, right? In fact, when there's a decision or when there's an action to be taken, habit takes precedent probably 80% of the time. I know we like to think that we're rational and we can look at data and we can make decisions, but most vast majority of the time, habit takes precedent. So what you got to do is enculturate a habit of coaching within the company. So what we like to do at Improver is say, hey, at least once a week, meet with your direct reports and have that coaching conversation. It's as simple as saying, hey, what's your goal? How did it go last week? What you do? And what you learned from what you did, and then what are you going to do next week? Yeah. Just those simple 4 coaching questions done on a regular routine cadence. Those are basically reinforcing the PDCA cycle or the continuous improvement cycle for every single person in the company, done at scale. That's totally scalable. Then you can start to see real continuous improvement transformation happen over time.
And even better, if you have those coaching cycles over coffee, can we do that?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Today, you want to do it?
Hey, we can do it every day. If it's over coffee, we can do coaching cycles every day.
Hey, that goes both ways. I'm all for it.
Well, thank you so much for listening. Let's get better every single day, and we hope to see you again tomorrow. For daily news on operational excellence and how it relates to current events, check us out on the Ticket to Freedom podcast.
Simply subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay up to date on the latest developments in continuous improvement.